In this demonstration, a global enterprise company, headquartered in the United States, has a global workforce in Europe, Asia, Africa, South America, and Australia. IT management has decided to move some key business applications to the cloud as part of their overall business initiative in order to shift to an OpEx cost model and reduce infrastructure and management costs. They have identified Office 365 as the first application suite to adopt a SaaS model, but will consider others depending on the success of the initial rollout. Once deployed in the US region, different remote user types, be they roaming users in coffee shops or at airports, or branch users anywhere in the world, could access the O365 services. To manage service level agreements, IT uses Eternity in user experience monitoring so they understand current performance levels for all users of the O365 suite. In parallel to the SaaS rollout, the company has also decided to evolve their legacy MPLS hybrid network to a next generation network leveraging SD-WAN as part of their network transformation initiative. For the first phase, remote branch office users access SharePoint Online via slower 5 megabit connections, with traffic getting backhauled to the data center for security inspection. For the second phase, since MPLS circuit speeds were consistently congested and unable to accommodate the growing workforce, SD-WAN was implemented in order to enable direct connectivity to the internet, taking advantage of faster and inexpensive bandwidth. During the deployment, baseline performance metrics from users all around the world were collected. In this Eternity dashboard, you see the true plot display that shows an aggregated view of download response times. Several weeks after the rollout, the US-based IT team received numerous file download performance complaints from remote office workers in France and some in the US. Since IT has been collecting all the data since the initial rollout, the app admin can go into the Eternity dashboard and select France and US locations to confirm. We can see that the performance in France is slower on average than in the US. Just as importantly, there is a lot of variation in this performance, with the longest times taking over twice as long as the average US location. After researching various solutions to address these intermittent issues, IT decided to deploy the Riverbed SaaS Accelerator solution since they are already using Eternity APM and they don't want to relinquish control of their network infrastructure. The setup was simple. Here's how it's done. First, you generate a root CA certificate and download it for later use. Then you choose which apps you want to accelerate. In this case, we select Office 365. Select your region and the number of users. Click Submit, and in minutes, the SaaS Accelerator server cluster gets spun up in the Azure cloud. The next step, you go to your client-side Stillhead Mobile and set up your Office 365 policy for acceleration. Click Enable Acceleration, enable SSL, choose which app to accelerate, and you're done. The final step is to verify that all is working by going back to SCM and verify your connections. And in just minutes, IT has deployed a performance insurance policy for their SaaS applications. Now let's look at the impact that this had on the issue. We'll start by looking at how this affects downloading a small file from an end user's point of view. You see a side-by-side comparison of a SharePoint download of a 10 meg file over a 5 megabit link for the office workers in France who complained about poor performance. On the left, SaaS Accelerator is not enabled, and on the right, SaaS Accelerator is deployed along with Stillhead Mobile Client. We start the download simultaneously on two different laptops, and you see that the file was completed on the laptop with SaaS Accelerator in 9 seconds. The laptop on the left is still going and takes 27 seconds for the same file. This is a 3x performance improvement that the end user can immediately see. From IT's perspective, since all these metrics are being collected, we can conduct a similar before and after analysis for all branch office users in France. You can see here that on the left we show aggregated scatterplot response times with an average performance increase of 8x when analyzed at scale. Again, notice both the performance differences and the differences in variation. But this acceleration doesn't only impact international remote workers. This comparative analysis shows that even US-based employees can benefit greatly from the Riverbed SaaS Acceleration solution. The average response time improvement for US-based branch users was also 8x. For phase 2 of the network transformation effort, SD-WAN was deployed to take advantage of higher speed direct internet access. France branch users now had 50 megabit connections available to them and in theory could exchange larger files faster. However, in this side-by-side analysis, it shows the sporadic response time for these branch users without SaaS acceleration. This proved to be particularly frustrating because the same file from the same location could be as much as a 45-second difference in download time. Once it was enabled, download times were consistently averaging in the 12-second range. Now that SharePoint has shown the clear benefits from SaaS Accelerator, the company is ready to enable acceleration for other SaaS apps such as Salesforce and ServiceNow. Welcome to the SaaS era at Riverbed.